Do you have a favorite basket that you'd like to put in at courses?
Um, we typically leave that up to the client. There are a lot of great baskets out there. We've done a lot of courses lately with a Mach X that I know a lot of people just love. Of course, you can't go wrong with the disc catcher. I don't actually have a lot of experience with too many of the other ones, but if we had a client, well, Hops Farm had one of the original sets of Prodigy baskets,
Okay.
which I think everybody acknowledges had some problems at the time, but they are well past those. So when you get into that upper tier, there's just a lot of good options. I know
Do you
I'm
Yeah, exactly.
people, but yeah,
do you
there's
do elevated baskets? Like, is that something that you incorporate into your design, like hanging and elevated?
not a fan um, unless if it's on a mound or what I would consider a natural feature, that's great. I just and this is just me, no judgment on anybody else who does it. When you build something up and put a basket on it, that just feels a little too artificial for me. So I don't do it. But Harmony Bends, is a great example where we had the opportunity on hole 12, which is otherwise flat, we had the dirt available to make a nice big mound, actually two of them, one for the day-to-day basket and one for the gold basket. And, I just prefer to do it that way. So, the fact that people would be putting up at something, yeah, that's something that should happen. That's part of the variety of the course. And of course, if anytime you're having to put that nose up, right, wind becomes more of a factor. I think that adds some
Yep.
interest to it. And my personal preference is just I'd rather do it with earth than
So
with
Yeah.
wood or stones or
so
whatever.
before Nick gets into his point here, I want to say I played a course. I was just traveling and I was in Pennsylvania. It's not a John Houck design course. Don't worry. And I say don't worry because what I'm about to say, I would rather be playing a John Howard. And there was one putt on this hole. They had a almost a standard size like basket with the pole height and everything, but on top of a stump that was like 6 feet tall. So they actually had
Right.
a ladder to climb up as high as the stump was, so you could reach into the basket. I was probably just inside the circle for a putt, and I felt like I was putting like straight up, and it
Yeah.
was just
That's
as you
insane.
said, it's like if it was on a mound, maybe, but even that would feel gimmicky if
Yeah.
you're that close to the basket and it was that elevated. So I appreciate your input
If
on
it's
that.
I could see it if it's like a slight kind of upgrade to the mound, not just one all of a sudden where you have this huge mound right in front of you, but if it was slightly like slowly elevating, I don't think that would be terrible. I kind of like the aspect of, you're putting uphill at something, there is
That,
risk reward to that putt.
No, that's a great comment, and let me clarify on that. I'm not talking about a mound that's 5 feet wide and you
Yeah.
stick a basket on top of it, right? The mound at Harmony Bends, I want to say, is at least as big as the circle, and so that
Yeah.
allows you, as you have a better shot, right, to
Hmm.
be more at the level of the basket. So it's a little extra reward for being close to the pin.
Yep.
So as you're farther out, you're putting up a little higher, and it's I don't know, I think it's maybe 3 feet tall, so it's not crazy
Yeah.
in any case.
So
But yeah,
that's
I'm
that's
glad
not
I'm
too bad
glad
to
you
play on
brought
at
that up.
all.
That's
But when you have a mound or an elevated basket like you're talking about, Matt, even you just being inside the circle, there are times where you're potentially thinking, especially if it's a tournament, I got to lay this up now because I'm not 15 feet away putting straight up. That's just not. If you're
yeah.
inside the circle, the only time I'm really laying up is if there's water directly behind it, whatever. But